until we understand that our enemies are also human beings, we will never be able to defeat them. Yes, they are bad guys, but that is what they do, not who they are. Let's continue listening and bear in mind that the next 100 pages can get a little bit dry. Easy, Burak. This stuff is radioactive. One slip up, and it's a freaking boom. Stop it. This is chaos. We don't pass freaking boom here. Sorry, Mr. Zipson.
Can you turn it down for a second? Or pause it for a little bit? Just for a quick second?
Spanning more than 15 successful seasons and covering the country from Florida, North Carolina, Iowa, Ohio, Oklahoma, California, and Virginia, this is League One NCAA football. This is League One NCAA football.
What's going on, everybody? Silent Gaming here, coming to you live with some exciting League One action. Ignore the background noise I have. Just share a wife with more than one person, so my wife is listening to the video and ignoring me. Oh yes, dude. Before I get into this broadcast before I start really diving in because I won't be paying attention to chat as much. Definitely look to see if it works. The capture card, yeah, I have my capture card works on my 360. If I have the Elgato HE60S, and that's what I use to do it. So, if you have something similar, then you can do it. But here we go. We're diving in here. 18th season of League One is here. It is upon us. We've already 1 week in. This is now week 2. Duke was on a bye, so this is our first look at the Duke Blue Devils for season 18. So it's really excited to finally get to be here to play this game. It's been a long time since we got to play League One. If you've watched any of my other streams or broadcasts, you know that I have been dying to get my League One game in to get to play it again. And here we are. So to start this one off, so we don't have to do this every single week since this is the brand new season, a brand new year, we're going to go ahead and look at how the season 18 Duke Blue Devils are shaping up to look like. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the picture of myself off of here. That way we get a good look at it. As you can see here at quarterback, this year our starting quarterback will be Drew White. Last season we ended it with Robert Griffin. He played pretty good, but we are redshirting him this year, and we're going to run it with just one quarterback this season. We're going to try to do our best with just one quarterback, but the starting quarterback for the Blue Devils this season will be the junior redshirt quarterback Drew White. Running back, we're going to have Jonathan Garrett. He was this running back last year that started, but was down most of the year with injury. So we're hoping that he can do so. We have the true freshman redshirt Barry Sanders. He's redshirting this year, or Barry Sanders Jr. So we won't see the field this season. He'll be a big-time Duke player next year, looking as Jonathan Garrett will graduate. And I don't expect any of the other running backs to get a bigger boost than Sanders. Sanders will be the guy after this year for the next 4 seasons. But obviously, Garrett is the main guy. Tatum's the next best overall, but Antonio Jordan will actually be the backup running back, followed by Tatum. Fullback, Terrence Siegel. Don't do a lot of use of fullback in this offense. But that is our fullback. Receiver-wise, we have senior Mike Ward is the main guy there. Chris Kane, junior red shirt. We got Corey Randall, the junior red shirt. Josh McBride, senior red shirt. Jeremy Davis is a JUCO signee from this net last year that we're going to redshirt because obviously you see we're old at the wide receiver position, so making sure we have some players there next year. As also, there you see Tim Jones, a sophomore redshirt, and Wes Welker, the brand new freshman coming into Duke, is redshirted as well. Tight end position, Cameron Newsom is going to start at the senior redshirt, and behind him, Jason Rogers, the 70 overall freshman. Starting offensive line, Josh Lumpkin, the junior. He's a JUCO. We brought him in this year. We have Matt Powers, the senior redshirt at left guard. J.J. Patrick, the freshman redshirt. Big time there to have a freshman starting at 75 overall, so a lot of potential there for him. John Williams, the senior right guard, starting there. And Brian Brothers, the senior redshirt right tackle. So the offensive line pretty old. They're older, but there is some youth in certain positions. With some of these guys being redshirted, we're redshirting Russ Hayes, so he'll be a sophomore redshirt next season, as well as redshirting Collins. He's a junior, but to get him for an extra 2 seasons. Bo Whaley, the freshman last year, started. But because of being the coach last year, we didn't redshirt him, but now we are deciding to go ahead and redshirt him this year. So John Carter will get the start at left end, and Bo is going to sit out this season to develop to even more to be better for the future. And we have Brandon Scott on the right side as well as Sidney Hogan. I think we have John Carter. We'll go through the depth chart quickly after this. Scott Pruitt, senior right tackle, defensive tackle, Mario Phillips, Cedric Brewer, Michael Henderson. You see, as we keep going down the list, the two new freshmen, Matt Jenkins and Darren Perkins. Those two both redshirted this year, and that's the rest of the D tackle position for the Duke Blue Devils. James Kimbrough, he got a lot of playing time last season, so he'll look to step up and getting a lot more play time this year. Luke Harris was the transfer that we got, forgot from where, but he sat out last season having the transfer year, so this is his first year being able to play for the Blue Devils. And Clifton Holloway, a JUCO. Actually, no, he's not JUCO. He was on the team already, and we are just redshirting him for some depth. Daniel Joyce, a preseason All-American, the only preseason All-American for the Duke Blue Devils, manning the middle for us, the senior redshirt, as well as Justin Morris. And new freshmen Spencer Johnson and Norris Roach, both getting redshirted as the two best guys in the middle are going to be seniors and graduating. So very, very young next season after this one passes. And Sean Long, the senior right side on linebacker, the new freshman Clay Matthews being redshirted this year to take over that role next season after his redshirt year. And you see also David Spence, the freshman redshirt. Cornerback position, we have Antone Brothers, the brother to the right tackle brothers, is the best corner and pretty good there. Wesley Howard, we're redshirting there, as well as Richard Sherman, to make, because you'll see here we have another senior and a sophomore. So we're going to be losing McDuffie and Brothers next season. So to make sure that we have two better corners, Howard and Sherman both redshirted to give us more depth next season as well. And we have a good amount of safeties, so able to make up if we need those extra corners. Starting at free safety, Alex Carter, the senior redshirt there with Doug Lewis followed behind. And I don't know why we redshirted him, but I guess we just did it anyway. And as you see, more depth at the safety position. Donald James, strong safety there. Kyle Williams, he was a JUCO that we are redshirting to give us more depth later. Ron King, the sophomore, and Joseph Seymour, sophomore, getting redshirted. Brandon Dotery, not going to probably play because I believe we have, Jake Smith, our punter, is the man. And the brand new freshman, Das Boot, is going to be the man in the future. So Jake Smith is the guy. He's going to be kicking both ways, doing punter and kicker as he's the bigger leg. Das Boot will be redshirted this year. So he'll be a freshman redshirt next year. And more than likely around the same or better than Daughtery anyway, but being youthful. So that is our team. So we're excited for that. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the Florida State Seminoles roster. No stats to look at yet because they've yet to play a game. So not much we can know from the team other than what we see on the roster. So it looks as though this TJ Gonzalez guy will start. He's got some speed, so we're going to have to make sure. He's got the speed, but he's not very quick. And his agility's all right, so we're going to have to make sure we keep him pretty contained. They got EJ Williams, the senior running back there. Looking pretty solid. A good fullback. Kevin McGee, Rashad Morse. Wow, Rashad Morse. Name does not match the guy at all. Pretty stacked at the wide receiver position, but oh my goodness. Senior, junior, senior. These guys are losing a bunch and have one guy coming in behind them in the future. So, this Florida State team could take a hit and take a drop. Really good tight end there, Jimmy Jackson, the sophomore. Oh, and a good freshman tight end. Well, they got good tight ends for the future. Really good starting left tackle at 81 as a freshman, true freshman. Their offensive line looks pretty good, so we might have some trouble there. Their defense has been good as of the past years. Left outside linebacker is a impact player, but his awareness is really low, so we might have to try to take advantage of that. All their linebackers' awareness is not very good. So we'll have to try to take advantage of that. Not the best overall, but the speed and athleticism of these Florida State corners is probably going to save them at getting out of a lot of trouble. very low secondary. Secondary is not very good. Awareness is not very high, so might be able to pass the ball well against them. We'll have to see. This definitely doesn't look like as good of a Florida State team as it has been in the past. The kicker is phenomenal. Wow. Just absolutely phenomenal. All right, so well, we saw both teams. I believe we are ready to get this game underway. We will be having Coach Spector in here later to do some play-by-play, but the game may start without his play-by-play at first. But until then, we'll get it going. So yeah, you see on paper, defense around the same. So Florida State's defense is taking a major hit from what they were in the past. This was a stacked defense, but now not so much. But offensively, they're still really good, and we know that Duke and myself, as Coach on Storm, will struggle on defense. So, we'll see how it goes. So, without further ado, getting the uniforms. I think we will go ahead and go all black for the first game of the season. We'll open up in all black. Okay, not super excited. Cannot wait. Excited to be here. Again, Coach Spector will be in here shortly to do the play-by-play call for the Duke Blue Devils game here against Florida State. But until he gets in, it'll be silent from me, hence Silent Storm. We'll be back with you guys at the end of the game to kind of talk a little bit about the game at the finish. But until then, we'll catch you guys at the final.
at 1st and 10. Are going to continue to talk so that you can get sound checks. There's 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. The ball's at the 32-yard line. 2nd and 6. Looks like Florida State has the ball. You good? Okay. Okay. Are going to continue to talk so that you can get sound checks. There's 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. The ball's at the 32-yard line. 2nd and 6. Looks like Florida State has the ball. You good? Okay. Okay. Are going to continue to talk so that you can get sound checks. There's 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. The ball's at the 32-yard line. 2nd and 6. Looks like Florida State has the ball. You good? Okay. Okay. Going to continue to talk so that you can get sound checks. There's 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. All right, folks. 6:49 remaining in the first quarter. Ball resting at the 32-yard line. It's 2nd and 6. Florida State has the ball at the Duke 32-yard line. And the audio right now is working in a loop. Understand the messages that we're receiving. The result of the play. Florida State has the ball at the Duke 32-yard line. And the audio right now is working in a loop. Understand the messages that we're receiving. The result of the play. And with 6:31 and counting, Florida State and Duke locked in a scoreless affair here in the early going. 2 tight ends set for Florida State. Williams up the gut, and he is tackled at about the 9.5-yard line after a 13-yard gain by E.J. Williams. And with 6:31 and counting, Florida State and Duke locked in a scoreless affair here in the early going. 2 tight ends set for Florida State. Williams up the gut, and he is tackled at about the 9.5-yard line after a 13-yard gain by E.J. Williams. And with 6:31 and counting, And we're back. 6:16 remaining on the clock. As the clock counts down, Florida State is at just inside the 10-yard line. Gonzalez out to the edge to Morse. He makes the catch at just outside the 5-yard line. Going to be second and goal from the 6. No, check that. Second and 6. Looks like Florida State is still capable of getting a first down inside the 1-yard line. Just inside the 10-yard line. Gonzalez out to the edge to Morse. He makes the catch at just outside. Gonzalez back to pass, looking, and again to the sideline to Williams. Williams tackled after a 5-yard gain, going to be 3rd and 1. All right, folks, after some potential technical difficulties may or may not have been solved, we now face 3rd and 1 from the 1-yard line. Florida State on their opening drive, the ball resting at the 1-yard line, and it says 3rd and 1, and it looks like there's no yellow line. I'm not sure if they can get a first down or not.
Regardless, the handoff to Graham goes into the end zone. Florida State strikes first. Philip Graham on the carry from the 1 yard line, and it's 6-0 Florida State, awaiting the extra point. Ten-play, 73-yard scoring drive by the Seminoles here at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. There's a surprising scoreline in the early going. Wake Forest ahead of USC. Number 4 USC trailing the Demon Deacons 7-0 after one drive of the football game. Duke now set to receive for their opening drive, their opening possession of the football contest. Florida State scored on their first drive. We'll see what the Blue Devils are capable of doing on their opening drive. Following the touchback, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line, 75 yards the goal for the Duke Blue Devils, dressed in black today for this special occasion, home opener. White gets the pitch off to Garrett. He's out to the edge, makes a nifty move to get past the first defender, and that will count for 6 yards on the carry. Ball now out to the 31-yard line, 2nd down, 4 yards to go. We are just about to cross 3 minutes into the ball game. We're at the 5-minute mark. As Duke on their opening possession, their second play, lining up in the I formation. Got a fullback and a halfback in the backfield. White surveys the defense. Hands off up the gut to Garrett. Garrett able to get the... Oh, no, they don't give him the first down. They spot him inches shy. It'll be 3rd and inches when the Blue Devils break the huddle once again. Third and inches, I formation. Florida State with 4 down linemen. The fullback up the gut, and Terrence Siegel, gets the first down. It's a conversion by Duke, and this drive continues to march forwards. "37-yard line, the marker. We are halfway through the opening frame. Duke on their opening possession of the game. I formation set up for the Blue Devils. 4 down linemen from Florida State. White surveys the field. The center making some last-minute adjustments on the line. White throwing to the corner route, and Newsom makes the catch after the play action. Bought enough time for the secondary to give a little bit of room for Newsom. He makes the catch, picks up the first down on first down. And just like that, the Blue Devils out to the 47-yard line of Florida State. Into enemy territory they go. The Blue Devils last season had several close affairs. Florida State was not one of them. They are looking for revenge at home here. Trailing by 1 score, they're on their opening possession. 1st and 10, just inside Florida State territory. Man in motion a little bit, and White throws toward the man in motion. Picks up the catch. And that's going to set up 2nd and inches. Every coach's favorite down a distance. 2nd and short. A little bit of freedom there for the play callers up in the booth. The offensive coordinator and his assistants for the Blue Devils. They may or may not elect to call a play that might set something else up for further down the road. Out of the huddle they come. 4 down linemen from Florida State. They're pinched in tight. Duke with 5 receivers out there on the field, spread out wide. White takes the snap, drops back, looking, and he's going to have to throw it away. He was under a little bit of pressure, but was able to navigate that pressure, buy himself a little bit of time to see if he liked a look. He did not like a look enough, chose to throw the incompletion. And now we have third down, inches to go at the Florida State 37-yard line. This would be at about the fringes of Duke field goal range, and you know that's not what they want to settle for right now. Lining up in a power set, it's an I formation, tight end off to the left side. It's a give the gut, up the gut to the fullback Siegel. This time they were ready for the fullback dive on short yardage. And Florida State stuffs it. It's going to be 4th and inches as the Blue Devils send the kicking unit on the field for a 54-yard field goal. This will be a test right here for the boot of Duke. Slight wind, just a little bit against them, 5 miles an hour in their face. A little bit of headwind there. The kick is up and the uprights. He makes the 54-yard kick against the wind. The first points are on the board for Duke. There's the replay. You see the ball crossing the crossbar by a fair distance. That looked like it could have been good from 57 or 58. Excellent kick there by Smith. The kickoff goes deep into the end zone. He's a little jazzed after that field goal. Puts it deep into the back of the end zone, and the Seminoles will start their second possession from the 25. 1:55 to go. Each team scoring on their opening drive. Florida State will get a touchdown on theirs, moving quickly down the field. And Duke responds with a score of their own. 7-3 the margin. As the Seminoles break the huddle, they have trips to the left side with a halfback and a split end on the right. The halfback is swallowed up. The Duke defense was looking for that. And E.J. Williams has his first carry for a loss. It's a loss of 1. Now going to be 2nd and long from the 24. Opportunity here for Duke. They're going to do everything they can to get their offense the ball again. Keep chipping away at those Seminoles. 1:40 moving clock. Florida State out of the huddle with an 11 personnel set. 4 down linemen for Duke. And heavy pressure forces the Seminoles to throw it away. And now it's going to be 3rd and long. 3rd and 11 from the 24. And Duke is going to ratchet up their pass defense. Hope to hold. Let's see what happens. Florida State breaks the huddle. They have a spread set as predicted. Duke in a quarter. Gonzalez looking, and chucking a Hail Mary throw deep. It's caught by McGee, and he's into the end zone. There were multiple defenders around him, but none close enough. Kelvin McGee makes the huge 3rd and 11 catch. The ball must have gone 60 yards in the air. Gonzalez just chucks up a prayer, at least 2 defenders nearby, but not able to defend the pass well enough. And Florida State's prayers are answered as they take a 2-score lead. Duke set to receive the kickoff. They will look to respond. Still here in the early going. The Duke offense now put to the task of trying to close that margin once again. They were successful in doing so on their opening drive. Let's see what happens on their second attempt. Grant deep in the end zone. And he gets out just past 25, a 34-yard return. He was about 7 or 8 yards deep in the end zone. He brought it out anyway, and Duke benefits by 2 yards. Line the mark. And now the pull. rolling to his right, under pressure, escapes the pressure, gets positive yards up the sideline. It's going to be 2nd and inches. Drew White able to get 9.5. They'll call it 10. And now the Blue Devils facing 2nd and inches for the 2nd time today. 2-score game right now. Duke with football, trying to pull within 1. They line up in 11 personnel. Florida State this time with 3 down linemen facing off against this spread set. To give up the gut and good yardage. Jonathan Garrett able to shake off a few tackles. Picks up 7 on the play, and it's a fresh set of downs at the Florida State 45-yard line. 2 drives, 2 times into Florida State territory for the Blue Devils. Last time they had to settle for 3. This time they'd rather not. It's 1st and 10. 2 tight ends set. A couple of receivers out there on the field, and audibles at the line by White. He brings one of those tight ends into the backfield to play fullback, and the quarter ends with the margin 14-3. Florida State up by 2 scores. Duke driving, trying to close the gap. Second quarter will get underway with Duke in possession of the football at the Florida State 45-yard line. And the handoff to Garrett to the left side. There's a flag on the play. Let's see who it's on. Personal foul clipping against the Blue Devils. That's going to set them back a fair bit. It's going to be 1st and a mile, 25 yards to go. Duke has 3 plays to get it. $7:50 on a running clock as Duke comes out to try to chip away at this yardage. Rolling out to the left is White. Taking off to the left, and he'll pick up positive yards. He gets 7, in fact. That's a little bit less than a third of the yardage they need. They have 3 downs to get 25 yards, and 7 will do. 2nd and 18 now, as Duke hopes to cut that down even further to make it 3rd and manageable. They break the huddle with 11 personnel once again. It's a read option and by Randall. Corey Randall gets 2 yards as Duke calls a running play on 2nd and 18. It's going to result in 3rd and 17 from their own 49-yard line. A huge 18-yard catch. Mike Ward coming up with the huge catch from Drew White. That is a huge play on 3rd and long. That's going to give Duke a first set of downs. They escaped the clipping call. They escaped 1st and 25. They have the ball at the 33-yard line of Florida State. Single tight end, no back in the backfield. White rolling to the right and flinging it. Cameron Nixon picks up the 23-yard catch. Good first and 10 from the 11-yard line. Just inside the 6-minute mark, there's a tight end to the left side for the Blue Devils in an I formation, facing off against a 4-man front. Handoff to Garrett. He is met in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 2 as the Florida State defense was ready for that one. It's going to be 2nd and 12 now from the 12 as Duke is well in scoring range, looking to draw ever closer to the Seminoles. Second and 12, Duke in a spread set, understandably so. 3 down linemen for the Seminoles. White surveys the field. Drops back, looking, and hits Garrett over the middle, makes a spin move into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils. The halfback, Jonathan Garrett, makes the reception, takes it into the paint. And we are an extra point away from a 4-point ball game. Five yards of the first half. Smith is going to put his foot into the ball, and the ball is going to say goodbye to the field of play. Out of the back of the end zone it goes. As a result, Florida State takes over at their 25. Perkins on the 11-yard catch, as Gonzalez so far 7 of 9 for 124 yards and a touchdown. 36-yard line, the marker, as Florida State gets a fresh set of downs. They break the huddle, facing off against a 3-3-5 front from the Blue Devils. Gonzalez on the give to Williams. A.J. Williams met in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 1. Duke off to a good start on this set of downs. Second and 11 from the 35-yard line. Florida State needs to pick up a few more yards here to get a fresh set of plays. Right now, Duke would like nothing more than to prevent that. Tight end off to the left side, single back set. Gonzalez dropping back, looking on the out route, hits Rasheed Morris for the 12-yard gain. That is going to give Florida State a fresh set of downs. They're still in their own territory, facing 1st and 10. Just about the halfway point of the second quarter, we've got a tight ball game here. It's 14-10. Florida State on their 3rd possession. Each team scoring on their first 2 possessions. 2 touchdowns for Florida State, a touchdown and a field goal for Duke. That's the scoreline. 42-yard line now, the marker. Florida State moving the ball across the 50-yard line. And now lining up in 11 personnel under center. Gonzalez gives it up the gut to E.J. Williams. He falls forward enough to get 8 yards. Going to be 2nd and 2. Williams off to 6 carries for 55 yards. There have been at least 2 plays where Duke has been ready for Williams, but there have been other plays where they've given up a few chunks of yardage. We'll see if they're able to address that as the game progresses. 2nd and 2 now. And Gonzalez up the gut to Williams again. He is stumbled at the line, but falls forward a good 3 or 4 yards. Turns 3 into 7. And it is at the 27 for 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. Three and a half minutes remaining in the second quarter. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts. 1st and 10. Back to pass is Gonzalez. And over the middle finds McGee. Kelvin McGee picks up 10. He had the huge pass play earlier in the quarter, in the half rather. And McGee picks up another catch there, this time for a 1st down. Fresh set of downs at the 17-yard line. Three-man front once again for Duke. And 2 tight ends looks like for Florida State this time. Good pressure by Duke, but Gonzalez able to get the pass off. It results in a touchdown to Rasheed Morris. It was good pressure by Duke. That's promising for the future. But a poor result on this particular play as Fresno State finds the end zone, finds pay dirt, and takes the 2-score lead once again. It is 20-10. Florida State got the ball to start, so Duke will get the ball to start the second half. They would like nothing more than to have an opportunity to take the lead with that drive as the second half begins. But it will be up to them to move the ball down the field and avoid a big play, a big mistake that could potentially give Florida State a massive lead before the half. Pressure here for the Duke offense. They're going to need to get some points, at least a field goal, if they hope to tie or take the lead on the opening drive of the second half. But they cannot afford to turn the ball over in doing so. 3:12, 3 timeouts. That's enough time for Duke to mix and match and try to outguess the defense without having to pressure themselves too much. But they sure would like to get it into Florida State territory as quickly as possible. To give to Garrett up the gut, some nifty moves, gets the 1st down. Florida State was looking for the pass there. And Garrett with perhaps his best carry of the day so far. Picks up the 1st down on 1st down. Going to be a fresh set of downs from the Duke 37-yard line. 3:04 and running. No hurry as they come out of the huddle. Casually strolling to the line of scrimmage. Tight end on the left side. Duke calls another running play. This one gets 2. That clock continues to move at 2:44. Now going to be 2nd and 8. Duke out of the huddle, lining up in an I formation. Play action pass off to the right side, caught by Cameron Newsom, good for 18 yards. And while he gets out of bounds, we're outside of 2 minutes. So once the referees spot that ball, the clock will move once again. Duke still with 3 timeouts. The ball now into Florida State territory. They're at the 44-yard line, 2:15, 2:14, and running on the clock. Another running play, and good for positive yardage, but short of the 1st down. That's going to keep the clock moving. We're inside of 2 minutes now, as the ball now on the 37-yard line with Duke facing 2nd and 3. .142 now, so there's about 15 seconds since the last play, as White drops back to pass. Caught by Jordan. He gets the 1st down. That'll momentarily stop the clock. We'll see whether or not Duke goes no huddle or not. They go to the huddle. The referees will spot the ball. The clock will begin to move shortly. There it goes. The clock's moving now, 1:32 and counting. Ball just outside the 30-yard line of Florida State. White drops back, looking, rolling to his right, taking off with it. It gets the 1st down. And out of bounds inside the 10 at the 5-yard line. And suddenly, Duke moves from fighting the clock to now having all the time in the world with their full complement of timeouts, the ball in first and goal on the 5. They can run whatever they like. They now have freedom thanks to that huge scramble there, moving from a tense situation to a much more realistic and comfortable situation. Up the gut to Garrett, and he stopped short, which is a good thing for Duke, as if they can score, it will afford Florida State less time. And with 3 timeouts, you got to imagine that Duke is going to take this play clock all the way down, because they want to give Florida State as little time as possible on the ensuing drive.
White is in at quarterback.
47 seconds, still with 3 timeouts for Duke. Florida State bunched up there in the middle. Let's see what happens. Up the gut with Jordan, and again, another good result for Duke. They can take even more time off the clock. Probably hike the ball with less than 10 seconds left in the half. And it doesn't look like Florida State's going to get an opportunity on their next possession, or at least much of one. The ball is at the 1-yard line, 3rd and goal. And Duke has timeouts to burn now. Ten seconds, just inside, as predicted. Into the end zone goes Jonathan Garrett with just a few seconds to spare. A good series of events to try to manage the Duke. They get into the end zone with only 5 seconds on the clock. This kick will take 3 seconds off the clock. And Florida State will have time for either a Hail Mary, or they may elect to just take a knee or run it up the gut. Florida State will have too many options on their next 5-minute drive once they receive the squib kick. The squib kick will, of course, put them at the top of their 40-45, so they've changed tucking a one single Hail Mary rather than running a running play. We'll see what happens following the squib kick. Four-point ball game once again. 3 scores on 3 possessions for the Blue Devils. 3 scores on 3 possessions for Florida State. And there is the squib kick. And indeed, they will have 2 seconds at their own 44-yard line, just enough time for a single Hail Mary. And the Blue Devils will put everyone in the defensive secondary and play super safety man pass defense. Back to pass goes Gonzalez, looking under a little bit of pressure, chucking it deep, and it's intercepted by Lewis. That'll be a nice boost of momentum. Duke got a little bit of momentum scoring to pull close, and a little bit more momentum on the interception. Regardless of penalty, Duke draws ever closer in the momentum category with each turnover of the ball game on the Hail Mary throw. A break for halftime. Looks like Florida State has about 15% momentum, and Duke is going to take over with an opportunity to take the lead in just a few minutes. We're going to pause for a brief halftime. We'll take about 4 minutes. We'll throw up some game stats. A halftime break. Coach may or may not elect to hop on the microphone and describe the first half to the listeners and viewers. But this announcer will be right back. I'm going to go hit that buffet in the press box and return to my seat in just a moment.
What is up, everybody? Silent Gaming coming to you here on the halftime after a awesome first half. Exciting action between the two. Really happy so far. I mean, we've given up some big plays. We're very upset about the Hail Mary that Florida State got. Just did not do well with the corner. Totally missed a big chance of the interception. So I was really upset about that one. But overall, offense is playing really good. We're sitting there at 3 for 4 on third downs. No turnovers yet, and I hope to keep it that way. Hopefully, we do not have any other turnovers. That'll be the biggest thing there. Defensively, we just need to play better. They're 2 for 2 on third downs, so we got to get them to more third downs, and we got to get them off the field. So we got a lot of corrections we need to do on the defensive side of the ball. But overall, not so bad. It's really good that we're getting the ball here. Need to go down and score, try to take the lead. But you see first downs are pretty much dead even. They got me by a couple yards there. Running the ball or rushing game is working pretty well right now, and it's opening the passing game up. I mean, the offense really is just clicking. It's playing really good, I think, right now. We just need to get better on defense, try to get some stops. Hopefully that interception before half helps kind of build us some more momentum. We can increase off that. Obviously, Drew Wright's playing really good right now, 8 for 9, 113 in the touchdown. Hasn't been sacked yet, 88% completion. And then Garrett with 41 rushing yards and White with 44. So those two getting it done on the ground so far. And no one really making a big impact in the passing game as of yet, but pretty spread between those guys as well. And no sacks. Yeah, we need to get some more pressure on there, and of course Lewis getting the pick there is big. So yeah, there's some good to do. It's pretty good so far, but we definitely got some more work to do. We need to really come out here, open this drive up with the score ourselves, and see if we can get a stop, put another score up, and just kind of go from there and take control of this game. But I'm really happy with the first half so far. Just clean things up on defense and keep the offense going the way we do. Catch you guys at the end of the game. And until then, I'll bring it back to Coach Spector, and we'll get this game rolling.
An exciting first half it was. Both teams scoring on their first 3 possessions. Duke settling for a field goal on their first, and that is the only margin of victory right now for Florida State. But Duke set to receive the second half kickoff. We'll see if they can continue their offensive success and continue to carefully move the ball down the field. The touchback, ball at the 25-yard line. That's where Duke will take over, trailing by 4. 1st and 10. Up the gut to the fullback, Siegel. He picks up 3 on 1st down. 3 yards is a win. Now going to be 2nd and 7. At the 28-yard line. I formation by the Blue Devils. 4 down linemen from Florida State. White surveys the defense. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and goes to his right on the corner route. Newsom making the catch, and he doesn't want to go down. Picks up an extra 5 yards after the catch. And Cameron Newsom, 4 catches for 85 yards so far, the leading yardage receiver for the Blue Devils today at this point. That's going to put the ball in Florida State territory at the Seminole 45-yard line. Just a few seconds into the half, we're on Duke's first possession of the second half. And they line up with 2 tight ends and a single back set. Seminoles responding with 4 down linemen. White on the give to Garrett. Jonathan Garrett picks up 4. Good solid carry on 1st down. Now going to be 2nd down, 6 to go from the Florida State 40. As has been custom today, Florida State with 4 down linemen. Garrett in the backfield behind White under center. Back to pass goes White on a quick pass to Ward is the 1st down. First downs on the quick in route. Mike Ward picking up his 3rd catch of the day for 38 yards. And the ball now at the 30-yard line of the Seminoles. Duke continues to carefully march the ball down the field. Out of huddle they come. Duke in a spread set this time on 1st down. Survey defense. Drops back to pass, looking at over the middle, hits Randall. That's good for the 1st down on 1st. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the Florida State 16.5-yard line. They'll call it the 17. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. We're 2 minutes into the second half on the Blue Devils' opening possession. Blue Devils out, gaining Florida State so far 61-2, but Seminole lead by 4. Back pass on for 10 yards on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and short when they break the huddle again. Jonathan Garrett with 3 catches of his own, contributing 30 yards to the, in addition to work on the ground. And Duke now has the football at the Florida State 10 line. 2nd and 3 to go as the Blue Devils come out onto the field. 11 personnel for Duke. 4-3 defense for Florida State. It's a read option play. White on the keeper. It's positive yards. Picks up 2. It's going to set up 3rd and 1 on 2 previous 3rd and shorts. Duke has run the fullback dive. One time, Florida State wasn't looking for it, and the second time they were looking for it. We'll see what Coach Silent Storm has up his sleeve on this 3rd and short. They line up in a spread set. They've got 11 personnel. It's a 4-2 defense for the Seminoles. Back to pass goes White, and out of the backfield hits Jordan. Antonio Jordan with a 3-yard catch, a key 3rd down conversion there. Duke didn't want to have to settle for 3 or spend a 4th down, and they neither, as they have 1st and goal now from the Florida State 4-yard line. Knocking on the doorstep in the shadow of the goalposts, the Blue Devils trying to take their first lead of the day. I formation, White under center. Garrett in the backfield. Garrett up the gut. He's got good blocking. Into the end zone he goes. And the Blue Devils lead 23-1 with the extra point upcoming. He's able to march down the field again, carefully moving the ball down the field. And they take the lead here in the 3rd quarter. We're just past the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. The Blue Devils lead 24-21. Florida State gets to the speed kickoff. Rick Morris still holding a 10-margin lead over the 4th-ranked Trojans into the 3rd quarter there in Los Angeles. Could an upset be on cards? Could an ACC team knock off a top 5 opponent? Takes the kick for Florida State. He takes the knee. That means the Seminoles start at their own 25-yard line for the first. This is a team that last year crushed Blue Devils with revenge on their minds, pulling out all the stops, looking to hold on here and pull off a signature win under Coach Silent Storm. The option play to Williams, only good for 1 yard. The defense stripping. They were either the quarterback or the running back on that play for first down. Now it's going to be long. "26-yard line, the marker, as they break the huddle. 3-3-5 defense, as has been the norm for Duke so far. So far, the only time they've stopped Florida State was when Florida State had a 1-play Hail Mary drive. They got the pick on that play. That sent them in the room with an extra chip on their shoulder. Now 3rd down, 5 yards to go. 30-yard line, the marker. Big play coming here in the context of the game. A lot of game left to go, but this is an important one here. From the Florida State 30-yard line, 3rd and 5. Back to pass goes. Looking for a screen pass. It's broken up. He was under heavy pressure. It was good coverage on the running back. He didn't want to throw it. He tried to throw it late of desperation, but there was too much Duke defense on that play. They are going to receive the punt and get possession. It's the first official stop for the Duke defense. Randall underneath it, gets possession of the football, out to the right side, gets a few extra yards, and turns nothing into something, able to get 16 yards on the return. That's going to set up Duke with decent field position. They're going to start at their own 37-yard line. All the time in the world and all the timeouts in the world. The only task for them is first downs at this particular moment. Off up the gut. They try outside. Quarterback White the pitch off in time. And the Florida State defense swallows them up on that play. Going to be 2nd and 11 when they get to the line of scrimmage again. Spread set now for White and the Blue Devils. Randall and Kane off to the left. Garrett, the running back, split out wide in the slot position on the right side of the field. It's caught by Randall. Good for solid yardage. And 9 yards is what they call it. It results in a 3rd or 3. the marker. White in a shotgun set. Jordan on his left hip. Kane comes in motion. White drops back, rolls a little bit to his left. And deflected. Jumps in between the ball and the receiver, and it's going to be 4th down and 3. Both teams coming up with defensive stops here in the third quarter, the result of which means Florida State will get the ball back late in the third quarter, trailing by 3. A fantastic punt by the Duke special teams. It goes out of bounds at the 1. Could not have been a better time or place happening for the Blue Devil special teams, and they're going to load the box. They expect Florida State will do the same here to the 1-yard line. Up back for Florida State. He gets the ball out to the 3-yard line. And it is now 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Florida State still in the shadow of their own goalposts. Ball resting at the 3. Florida State coming out with 2 tight ends and a back in the backfield. It's to give to Williams. E.J. Williams met by a swarming Duke defense. It's going to 3rd and 7 from inside the Florida State 5-yard line. 4-yard line is where they mark it. There's 35 seconds left in the third. This is a key 3rd down here. Duke would love nothing more than to get the ball back in great field position. Florida State desperately continue this drive. It's a handoff off to the left side, a broken tackle. He gets the 1st down. E.J. Williams keeps the drive alive for Florida State. On the running play, they were inside their 5, so they went with the running play on 3rd and long. Looked like Duke might have been kind of hedging their bets there between defense and pass defense. And the result, they will extend the drive. They're out now to their own 17-yard line. The 1-yard gain, or they'll call it no gain. They'll call it 2nd and 10. The third quarter comes to an end. 4s are up. 4 is up for Duke. They lead by 3. Florida State still well in their own territory, trailing now in the 4th quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10 to the 17-yard line when they break the huddle. Duke holding a 24-21 lead in the 4th quarter. Florida State coaching staff meeting conference, coming up with plays and ideas. And they put out of the sideline on the pass. He picks up 8. That's going to set 3rd and 2. Reversed, and Duke was all over that play. Great job by the Duke defense to stop the 3rd and 2 run. There was no chance for the quarterback or the halfback to convert on that. And Duke now set to receive the punt. 3 straight punts between these 2 teams. Duke will have football with the lead in the quarter. Randall underneath it, takes the ball, gets a few yards before he's swarmed. Not much on the return, but Duke thrilled to have possession. 4-yard line of the Blue Devils. They have possession. It's 1st and 10. There's 7 minutes and 7 seconds in the ball game, bar an extra. Audibles at the line by White. He sends plate to positive yards, 3 in fact. Going to set up 2nd and 7. 3 yards is a win. 2 plays, 7 yards. Under the 7-minute mark. With the football near midfield, leading by 3. In a shotgun, Gordon on his left. Tight end on the left. White rolls to his right, looking, flings it out to Kane. Kane picks up 2. Now 1 play to get 5 yards. Chris Kane with a 2-yard catch sets up 3rd and approachable. 5 yards, in fact, just inside the midfield stripe. Spread set this time for the Blue Devils. 3rd and 5. Just at the 6-minute mark. Back to pass goes White, looking, surveying the field. It's tipped. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. A huge play by the Florida State defense. An unlucky series of events. Looked like they lost the ability to convert, at least a chance. But the result of the call is that we'll see our 4th straight punt. Duke clicked to a 3-point lead. We are just inside 6 minutes remaining. Looks like it's a punt inside the 10-yard line. The special teams for the Blue Devils coming up huge here in the second half. They're going to pin Florida State all the way back at 7. Not quite the 1, but still deep in their own territory. 5:53 on the clock as Florida State comes out of the huddle. They have 2 backs in the backfield and 3 receivers. It's a running play off the right side. The give, good for 4. E.J. Williams on the carry. Now going to be 2nd down and 6 from the 10. Florida State lining up with 4 receivers this time. They throw it on a play out to the left side, and there are enough Duke defenders that the final one makes the tackle before Kelvin McGee can get positive yardage. He was in the backfield when he caught it. He was able to elude a couple of tacklers at first. There's too many black shirts there, and Duke holds them to no gain. Now going to be 3rd and 7 from the 10. Florida State, once again, 4 receivers. Back to pass goes Gonzalez, and he's brushed, almost sacked. There was a defender between the ball and the receiver, wasn't able to get a hand on it. 2 close calls in 1 play for Florida State, as well as the 3rd close call, with the catch being made just at the sideline, but it results in a 1st down. Florida State survives on this drive so far. The ball now out to their 20. 1st and 10. The give to Williams to the right side. Breaks a tackle. A key broken tackle for the 1st down. Turns what could have a 2 or 3 yard gain into a 14-yard gain. Williams now approaching 100 yards rushing. He's averaging 6.2 yards a clip. 34-yard line of Florida State. There's just 4 on the clock and running. We're reaching the halfway point of the final quarter. It's Graham to the left side. 2 broken tackles. Defender ready. Plus of 4. Daniel Joyce picks up his 2nd tackle for loss. And just like that, it's 2nd and long. Florida State still in a hole. Duke defense trying to hang on. 4:21 and counting. Spread set for the Seminoles. Facing 2nd and 14, you would think they'd do that. And now the screen pass to the left. A defender for Duke is there. E.J. Williams shakes him off for a couple of extra yards. It's in 4 pounds, and now it'll be 3rd and long yards, in fact. Duke will try to hold on. Remember, here in the second half, recent one going in the 7-yard line. And Florida State, despite a couple of at their own, drops back, and he's sacked. A huge sack for the Duke defense. TJ Gonzalez goes down on 3rd and 10. A defender was able to break through and make the sack. Number 4 with a huge force up 1/5 these two teams. Duke still clinging to a 3-point lead. Clock now becoming their friend. They'll get the 21 and counting. With it, Corey ran and game clock. Duke has the football and the lead. 42-yard line, the marker. Blue Devil football. Pretty even play calling today for Duke. 21 runs, 19 passes. It's a first down run here. And Garrett turns nothing into something. Runs through traffic. It gets stopped for a 2-yard, 3-yard gain. But able to fall forwards, do a little spin move in the middle of traffic. It's a little bit dangerous doing that spin move, but it worked this time. And it means that Duke now faces 2nd and 1. They have a running clock. The ball is at the Florida State 48-yard line, and now the Blue Devils will look to take as much time off the clock as possible. Give up the gut to Garrett. He's got the first down. Counts. Have a clock to the ref ball. Clock for this play. Duke will try to play clock on. And the play short of the first time. Up, but the defender was blown into time, at least close enough to make the play. No game. Duke still needs to get a down. They would lose the rest of the game. Facing 10. First time, there's 2 remaining. Duke lining up. Play action pass. White looking to the left. And White. Newsom the receiver over the Garrett on the dot. We're now 2nd and inches at the 11-yard line. Florida State has called timeout. One more first down here in facing a 2nd and inches. If come off. final time. It's a matter of the ref. First and goal, 125. Garrett up the gut, and more precious seconds tick off the clock.
That brings up second and goal.
There's the score update. Nebraska-Colorado, an old rivalry game from the old Big 8 conference, as the Buffaloes pull off the upset over number 20 Nebraska. To put them to the end zone on that previous play, taking the 10-point lead. Florida State just prayer's chance. They need 2 scores in 44 seconds with no timeouts. A clutch drive by Duke, but clutch performances by the Louisville special teams. The Florida State Seminoles deep with a down inside the 1-yard line and another down inside the 7-yard. The result of that is that they were able to get Florida State to punt on 2 straight positions. It goes down. They are desperate, man. Huddle. Sack in the last ball game. He spikes the 18 precipice of a monumental defense and Duke special teams to put them in position. And if you Blue Devils flag another third sack. Prayer. Gonna get the first 15 seconds remaining. Perkins picks up 31-yard. They're gonna score in with 10 seconds. Almost mathematically impossible. 10 seconds. Florida State down to 0.0001% chance. It was the Duke special teams. It was the defense. And believe that. You believe that. This team that put up a 50-burger against Duke last year. Florida State put up a burger against Duke last year. And today, the Duke defense holding them to 21 points with just 7 seconds left on the clock. 007 James Bond on the scoreboard at the 40-yard line. 3rd and long. Crowd on their feet, stomping on the stands here at Wallace Wade Stadium. Gonzalez drops back, looking, chucking up a prayer, and it's deflected, and that will do it. The fans out onto the field. They rush the field. Duke fans ecstatic. They have upset the Florida State Seminoles 31-21. An unbelievable performance. 0 turnovers for Duke today. 0 turnovers for the Blue Devils. They picked up one right before the half, win the turnover battle 1-0. The defense, the special teams, outstanding, phenomenal. Duke pulls off the 10-point win, and it is going to be a party in Durham tonight as the Blue Devils win 31-21 in their first game of the season against Florida State. They are 1-0 in conference today. They are 1-0 on the season, and they are off to a fantastic start. It will be indeed in Durham tonight. That is the place to be in America, Durham, North Carolina. Fans on the field, they're trying to bring down the uprights. Authority to bring the collapsible uprights down as quick as they can before fans can get their hands on them. Thousands of fans rushing the field. Coach ecstatic, gets the Gatorade shower, and Duke wins 31-21. Final score here from Durham, North Carolina. The Blue Devils are 1-0. What a game there. Thrilled to be here. Great atmosphere, great environment. This is Coach Spector signing off. Congratulations to the Blue Devil program. Congratulations to Coach Tyler Storm. Congratulations to everyone involved in this. Thank you for joining us. We'll go over to Coach.
Thank you, Coach Sean Spector. I just really grateful for coming here to do the play-by-play. Giving me the play-by-play tonight. Huge win. I am so pumped up that we were able to get that done. This huge win for us in our program. Definitely came in with the big old chip on the shoulder from last year, getting just demolished by this Florida State team. And to come out, shut them out the whole second half, no points the entire second half, and we go and put 2 more touchdowns up. I mean, I am really happy and really proud of my team today and the way we played. Just super excited about it. I don't want to let it get to our heads as of yet. We let that happen last year when we played Wisconsin week 1 and got to beat them at home. But I think this one means a little bit more because it's Florida State. We had an ACC opponent the first game of the season, getting the first look at our guys, and to have to do it against this kind of a team. It just means so much more, and I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. I think the guys played great. We put a game plan together, and I think we executed it pretty well. Defense just completely turned things around the second half. I mean, they played great the whole game, pretty well the whole game. Second half, I think they were just on fire. We didn't even allow them no points. They didn't even go over 100 yards. They were already over 200 offensive yards in the first half. So the second half, they don't even get 100 yards. We get them off the field. Just played great football in the second half. As a whole team overall, really happy with it. So we go look at the stats before we get out of here. You see the final score obviously is 31-21. We beat them in the first down 17-13. There we go in the total yardage. Obviously we edged them there. The running game better, and that is a big number that you don't see that often. Any team that I coach to hold a team under 100 yards rushing, held them to 64. That's a big accomplishment. And even their 220 passing yards, I mean, you got to think they would the 170-yard bomb to help them out. So, I mean, that's a big chunk for them. Overall, really, besides that big play, I think the defense played great the entire game. The offense played great the whole game. The few stops, just kind of wrong play and good defensive plays by Florida State. But really, overall performance was excellent by our team. I got to give a shout out to Drew White. He played excellent today, going 17 for 20, 211 yards. And going 211 yards, 17 for 20, 85 completion percentage, and then Garrett staying healthy this game. Hopefully he can stay healthy all season because I think he was a big factor. He was great in the running game today, getting those 81 yards, 5 yards per carry, 2 rushing touchdowns. And Newsom, man, the tight end, the new offensive playbook we've used that we implemented this season, I think has taken advantage of a good tight end, and I think we took advantage of their low awareness outside linebackers. And Newsom was able to find a lot of big holes, and he had himself a pretty good game. And then defense, man, at the end, Kimbrough stepped up big time in the second half with his 8 total tackles, 7 solo, 4 for loss, 2 sacks. I think it was 3 on the day, all coming from that one side. We had the 1 interception, man. The guys played great today. And, of course, the 2 punts at the 1 and the 7, huge for us. So just overall, I think we played a great game here for Duke. Super excited, man. I'm overly pleased at how that game went. I'm overjoyed. I really am. It's amazing. How great. I'm really happy. I can't say anything else other than I'm super overjoyed for how we played today. So before we get out of here, before I sign myself off, we will go into another user game being played in League One. This is going to be a combined stream. My game will end with us going into a game currently running now. As soon as I can get over to it, I'll get it up. But before I sign off myself and we shoot over to the Minnesota West Virginia user game going live now, which right now is currently West Virginia. Actually, that game is almost over. West Virginia is up 31-6 going into the fourth, so we'll be able to get you to the tail end of that game. A look at what we have coming up later this week. Friday, Six Gun Ninja channel. You can catch the Syracuse Ole Miss game. You can also catch it here on the League One Twitch channel or the League One Facebook channel. And then this game, you'll catch the tail end of that here in just shortly. And the Washington Navy game has not been announced as of yet. So you're going to have to check the Facebook as well as the League One website to see when that game will be played live. But that game will be live and broadcasted, so you just have to pay attention to that. And that is it. Otherwise, the only televised games that we have left for the week. Just looking at next week, what Duke will have in store. Next week is a old home reunion, as I'm going to go travel to play my old Fresno State Bulldogs in Fresno. So it's excited for that. Can't wait to go and be a part of that one and get to get to be at the old stadium and go take the dogs and play my old Bulldogs. So excited for that. Again, huge win for me here. A great way to start the season off. So we will go ahead and we are going to get you guys over to the other League One game that is going on right now. It is currently at around, got 4 minutes left in the ball game. So not much of the game left, but we will go ahead and get you over to that. So any of you guys watching my broadcast now here on Silent Gaming Twitch channel, I'll get you guys directly over to that channel. Or to that game. So we'll bear with me now as we're trying to get over to there here shortly.
He's scrambling. Throws on the run, complete. Steps out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Gain of 15 yards. First down. First and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line. Just under 3 to go in regulation. He's on the run. Throws it, and oh, he dropped it.
Boy, a golden opportunity missed by the defense. That was a sure interception, only to be dropped.
He scrambled. It's a fumble. That was a close one, but the ball goes out of bounds.
I really thought the defense had a chance to get their hands on it, but the ball went out of bounds first. That's got to be disappointing.
White is in at quarterback. From their own 28-yard line. It's third down. They come out in a 5-wide set. Well, a nice stop there late in the fourth quarter, but this game, quite frankly, has been over for a long time, and I'm ready for it to end. He dropped it. And he's tackled at the 33. He just couldn't pull that one in cleanly.
And, Brad, that's what happens when you take your eyes off the ball. This was an error that should have been avoided.
That return man is lucky that his team got the ball back, or he would have heard an earful from the coach. Actually, he probably will anyway. They ran the ball very well on their last drive, and it resulted in 6. He gets to about the 41-yard line.
Concentration lapse right there. The coaches will be giving them an earful for it, too.
First and 10. Ball on the 44. A little more than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Tackle made at about the 41. And the halfback carries for a pickup of 3. That'll make it 2nd and 7. Second down and 7 coming up here. Ball on the 41. He'll go down to one knee. We should just see the quarterback take a knee right here, winding down the rest of this clock.
Well, that was a big stop here early in the fourth quarter. They needed some of that earlier because this game is still out of hand.
Tighten down. There you go. 90 is a Mike.